Yeah.
Um, why are you working?
I'm working for about 10 minutes. Why?
I'm working
For a little bit, yeah, why? Do I come back in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Right, go back to the living room. You can come back in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dad,
Yes.
I want a drink.
You can have a drink. Alright, I'll get you a drink. Come on. Not like that. With your hands. You're not a dog. No, with your hands. No more now, what do you say? Well. Hey guys, Newt here. Welcome back to another transfer list. We've had some movement for once. I'm actually shocked. There's two bits of information, one in, one out, that we are discussing a little bit more in depth today. You will see full videos on them when they confirm and happen and complete. But we will have a bit of a chat about them today. We'll start obviously with the ins. And the obvious in, Bryan Mbeumo. United have finally reached an agreement with Brentford to sign the Cameroon international. It looks like it's a deal worth a total of £71 million, 65 in instalments guaranteed, with £6 million add-ons. I'm happy this is finally done. Hopefully we can get the medical and everything sorted out this week soon, and get him done and sorted as soon as possible. Hopefully by Monday or Tuesday it is done. We'll have a full discussion about it then. But Bryan Mbeumo to United is happening. Next, Botafogo are looking for a new goalkeeper, with Brazilian João Victor, 29, being linked with a switch for Manchester United. I think this is a 50-50. I need to try and find a picture to actually find a João Victor. This, for me, I'm not sure with the goalkeeper situation. There's a goalkeeper from Antwerp that's been linked. There's obviously Emi Martinez has been linked. I've seen a lot of information about it all, and whether I believe there's going to be a movement in the goalkeeper department, I'm not so sure. I don't think it's one of the main problems with the team, but I do think it is one of the problems with the team. Whether I think it'll happen this window is a different matter. João Victor, similar age to Onana, looks a bit more solid, as I've mentioned previously. I can see it happening, but I'm not confident on it at this moment in time, to be honest. So that's why we're keeping it at 50%. United have made contact with Lyon to ask about the availability of 30-year-old French midfielder Corentin Tolisso. I'm going to put it at 25% because although I won't say never unless I think it's absolutely 100% not going to happen, I think that this is highly unlikely to happen due to the fact that his age is outside the profile of what Ineos are looking for. I don't think that he would suit the Premier League in that sense. I think he's more... Well, the French league is a bit of a hit and miss. Some players come from the French league and are incredible and work very well. For me, would Tolisso work at United? It would be a stopgap. It would be very similar to what I class Casemiro to be right now. I don't see Casemiro staying with United past the next 2 seasons at the very most. And I think that would be the same for Tolisso. I could be wrong. But for me, this feels like a non-starter. I think there are players out there that, and even in the French league themselves, I saw an interview with one of the guys from The Athletic. I can't remember. It was Carl Anka. It was Carl Anka. Talking about Kamara at Monaco, and he's 21 years old. He runs rings round Declan Rice in the game for Senegal against England. And everything he was saying about him just gave me like, yeah, that would be a good buy to have. That would be someone to bring in. He's also spoke about Onana at Villa, but getting Onana out of Villa will be very difficult. Does Tolisso fit that similar mould? No, I don't think he does. So that's where I'm not putting Tolisso high up on this list. United have also registered their interest in signing Juventus and Brazil midfielder Douglas Luiz, with Everton also keen on the 27-year-old. United have also registered their interest in signing Juventus and Brazil midfielder Douglas Luiz in the summer, with Everton also keen on the 27-year-old. Now, for Douglas Luiz, it's going to be lower than John Victor, but I do think it's still a 50-50. I have also seen that there's a potential swap deal, which we'll discuss in a bit. I do like the look of Douglas Luiz. A bit old in terms of the profile that United are looking for. Ineos have mentioned they're looking for, as I mentioned earlier, they're looking at 25 or under to build a squad not just for now but for the future. I mean, it would be a good fit. He's worked well in the Premier League for Villa in the past. I think that, to be fair, I can see why Everton are going for him as well, because he would fit their criteria and what they kind of need. He fits what United need. He's a bit more of a defensive centre midfielder who can also do a good job kind of going forward a little bit. So I can see why the interest is there. Whether I think that will happen, I'm on the fence on. So that's why we'll put him down on the 50-50. United are also interested in Chelsea's Nicholas Jackson. Aston Villa, AC Milan also monitor the Senegal striker's situation. United may look for a swap deal with Jackson, which could mean Garnacho moving to Chelsea. We'll talk about Garnacho in a bit. I think we're looking at the high end of 50% for this one. United need a striker. United have been linked with a number of strikers, all of which don't seem viable now that Mbeumo's deal has gone to 71 million. The thing with the Jackson deal is that Chelsea are also interested in a United player in Garnacho. So there's a bit of a negotiation there. I've seen that Chelsea wants 60 million for Nicholas Jackson. I'm not paying 60 million for Nicholas Jackson. It's just not happening. I think he is talented, and I think that he has qualities that would suit United. Does he improve on Højlund? I think he does, but not enough. I think he is only a slight increase or a slight benefit to Højlund. And for me, it would be underwhelming if the striker that came in was Nicholas Jackson. It kind of would be the pivotal of where United are at this moment in time. But for me, Jackson isn't the one I would look at. There are obviously other players I'd be looking at, and there are other teams that are in better positions for them. My one from the start of the season was Liam Delap, but he obviously went to Chelsea, so that's a non-starter. That's not happening now. So I think that looking around, there is a bit of a lack in the market for quality strikers. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with it. United have held talks with the camp of 27-year-old Brighton and Ecuador defender Pervis Estupiñán for a potential transfer. We have two left backs in Patrick Dorgu and Diego Leon. We also have a third left back in Harry Amas, who's potentially going out on loan. Why do we need a fourth? We also have Luke Shaw, who can play left back. I wouldn't play him left back now. I'd play him the left side of a three, but he can play left wing back if needed. Estupinian, for me, is a near non-starter. Why would we be looking at a 27-year-old defender from Brighton on the left side? I mean, if he was a right-sided player, possibly, but for a left back, for the situation we now have with left backs, I don't see the reason for it, basically. And finally, for the ends, United and Newcastle have identified Paris Saint-Germain's France striker Randall Kolo Muani, 26, as a priority target following last season's successful loan at Juventus. This I will put alongside Jackson as a 50-50 on the fence, but could move up if potentially, depending on what we find out. For me, Kolo Muani fits that same Jackson mould. Would it be an increase on Højlund? I think it would be a bit. Would it satisfy me for being our main striker going forward? No, it wouldn't. So, and I know there's a lack on the market, so it's difficult to say. But for me, I just think that Kolo Muani wouldn't be the guy. I could be wrong. You could clip me on this, and could be like the Rory Jennings-Haaland situation where we get in either Jackson or Kolo Muani, they score 20 goals this season. And in which case, I'll be thrilled and I'll be happy to be wrong. But for me, it's lacking in something, and it would be disappointing if that's the main striker that comes in. And now for the outs. I've been able to update the graphics on this season's kit as well, which I'm shocked we got a couple of these in. United winger Alejandro Garnacho has rejected a move to Saudi Pro League side Al Nassr, which is a bit of a surprise because he loves Ronaldo to bits. With the 21-year-old Argentinian international preferring a move to Europe, Chelsea have an active interest in the United winger after holding initial talks in January. Aston Villa are also weighing up a move. We mentioned Garnacho when we talked about Jackson in terms of a swap deal. I think that Garnacho does leave, and there's obviously a lot of interest. He wants to stay in the Premier League. I think this is a more likely than not going to happen. So we'll put it on the 75. Garnacho's been told he's leaving, so it's a matter of who comes in for him. For me, Chelsea looks the most viable, and maybe it works for us where we can bring in Jackson, or we look at someone else possibly within Chelsea who we could bring in that fits United's situation, and we can go from there. But for me, Garnacho is basically a goer. He's going out. Next, Manchester United remain in the market for a goalkeeper, but with other areas of the squad seen as more of a priority. Cameroon international Andre Onana is set to keep his place as first choice. So we talked about Onana last week, and obviously a little bit today in regards to John Victor. I think that this is coming down because I think, as I mentioned, it's less of a priority for the goalkeeper position than it is other places. I think we still need a centre midfielder to go alongside Fernandes if that's where he's going to be playing. Goalkeeper is an issue for me, but I don't think it's as big of an issue as the forward line was last season. I think the forward line being solved, obviously Cunha and Buemo and a striker would be ideal. Obviously, we need a centre mid in because we've lost the likes of Eriksen. We're going to lose. I don't think there's anyone else we're losing at the moment, but there's obviously, I think a centre mid is possibly needed. So, yeah, the goalkeeper's down the list. So if we can get the other things sorted out, maybe we look at it. But for me, I think the Onana situation, I think he's more likely to stay than not. Plus the hamstring injury kind of scuppers that a little bit. Now, when I wrote this down, there was no news. But we'll talk about it. I'll read it out and we'll talk about it. Juventus are exploring the conditions of a possible deal for Marcus Rashford, with the 27-year-old also attracting interest from Barcelona. Barcelona would reportedly pay Rashford's full £325,000 a week salary in a deal which is set to make the 27-year-old international set to take the international to the Spanish club on an initial season-long loan. Jose Mourinho is also interested in bringing Rashford to Fenerbahce. Now, I wrote that before the news that came out from Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein over the fact that Marcus Rashford is going to Barcelona on loan and they are covering his full costs. So that middle bit of information that you heard was correct. Rashford's going. I think that it's been time for him to go for a best part of a season and a half now. I think near the end of last season it was a possibility that he left, but he didn't. And now we're at that point where it's gone past that and we're further on in the situation. So it looks like he's going to Barcelona on loan with an obligation to buy. Let's hope he does well, because then we get more money for him. I am sad to see how the situation has gone with Rashford, to be honest. But things just become untenable at some points. So you have to accept it, move on, and we go from there. If he does leave, or when he does leave and it all gets confirmed, we may do a story on it, or a quick video on it. Next, AC Milan are interested in a striker, Rasmus Højlund, and are exploring the conditions of a deal to take for the 22-year-old. Juventus are also considering a swap deal with Manchester United for the Denmark man in exchange for Douglas Luiz, as I mentioned earlier. Douglas Luiz is someone of interest, could be the centre mid we're looking for to fill that gap. For me, Højlund is a 50-50. It falls under this kind of striker 50-50 kind of situation, whereby I think that if we do bring a striker in, we're not going to keep all three. Well, so we'll bring someone in. We've got Xerxes in, and we've got Højlund. One of those two has to go. We've also got Chido Obi. I don't think Chido Obi is going anywhere, should I say. So it's down to Xerxes and Højlund. I think it's going to be Højlund, and I think it's going back to Serie A in some capacity. Whether we get Douglas Luiz as a make-weight for it, we'll see. Possibly look at Colin Moran. He's a swap deal as well. And Juventus aren't done there, because the England winger Jadon Sancho's switch from Manchester United to Juventus is close to being completed, as the two clubs have finalised some details of the 25-year-old's move. Juventus are ready to meet Manchester United's €25 million or £21.6 million asking price for Sancho, who is in a full agreement with the Serie A giants over a 4-year contract worth around €6 million or £5.2 million per year. So another one off the books. He is going. He's out of here. It's just a matter of finalising everything and confirming everything for me. We had a conversation last week about Sancho and the fact that he was apparently wanting money from United to cover the costs of the loss of earnings or whatever it would be. That's crazy talk. If you want to play football and you either want to make money or play football, you can still make money off the back of playing football, but you can tell who's in it for the money and who's in it for the actual playing of the game. For Sancho, especially when it comes to United, he's not been wanting to play football for United. He's wanting to make money. So again, another one I'm glad to see the back of. Hopefully it gets us some decent money in, and we can use that to get somebody else in replacement. But
Dad!
Yes.
The washing machine is done.
Right, okay. I will deal with it. Go on. I'm working. Go. So that is it, guys, for this week's transfer list. Let me know, guys, in the comments down below what you think. Let me know also what you want to see on the channel. We had a review for the Leeds game go up yesterday. So go check that out. Like this video if you have. Subscribe if you are new. Until next time, guys. Take care.